Somebody feels like they have manifested you and this opportunity to love you into their life with this answer the call energy. This is somebody that in a previous chapter of their reality surrendered to a process of being divinely guided and led to a higher level soulmate, to a counterpart, to a divine love. This is somebody that has done a lot of internal work, a lot of shadow work, a lot of healing, maybe through traditional therapy, self-help, a religious path, a spiritual path, teaching or tradition, or some combination of those things to really come to a deep understanding as far as the nature of their own wounds and the ways in which those wounds have called out towards or have aligned them with what would be considered karmic partners or lower vibrational experiences in life and in love that have resulted in kind of a habitual process of disappointment, getting let down, hopes up only to have those hopes shattered. And at a certain point, this person said, enough is enough. I'm kind of trying to do things my way and I'm just experiencing the same results. And so they've asked for some kind of like help from outside of themselves, or divine intervention has kind of led them down a very unique pathway that it feels like has affected their life as a whole very profoundly. This is somebody who may have gone through dark night of the soul, had like a spiritual awakening. This is somebody that there's a distinct kind of like before and after mile marker in their life where things maybe took a turn for the worst and then changed for the better. So not only has this person like turned over a new leaf in their life or like realigned their priorities in some sort of way, they have also come to a deeper sort of understanding of nothing changes if nothing changes. And so they have surrendered to kind of like a higher or an internal process in terms of aligning with a love that is good for and resonates with a healed or a healing version of themselves, as opposed to love which they had called in that was only sort of perpetuating or answering to those wounds that they were unaware of or they weren't dealing with. They were just kind of like turning to toxic things or ignoring them altogether during a previous chapter of their life or a significant chunk of their life. And so this is somebody that feels like you are someone that has come into their life as an indicator, as a signal that it was a right choice to take steps in a new direction, to kind of like better themselves. Or this is something where they're feeling like, I don't just have to kind of walk this journey of self-improvement and personal growth on my own, that there is love that aligns for me on this higher frequency and vibration. And there's a lot of indicators that they're getting at this point in time that you could be that person, you could be that partner that aligns with this kind of improved life that they have been trying to build for themselves and that they've been very successful in piecing together up to this point in time. We have radiate self-compassion. So they see you as somebody who is very aligned with a lot of principles that, resonate very deeply with them. You may have very similar like spiritual beliefs, similar goals. You may be walking very similar paths in life at this point in time. You have similar perspective on things. It feels like this person, you've had conversations with them. They have some sort of awareness of kind of like what your priorities are, the things that you value, the way that your mind works. They may have some understanding of your own narrative, your personal history, kind of anything that represents a before and after kind of experience for you, or times in your life, things where, they feel like very fortunate to have met this version of you, but then they're also somebody that is not judging you for your past. Anything that they may know about that or that they can just kind of imagine must have been the case in order for you to take certain steps forward by choice or out of necessity in order to create the life that you're living right now, because they see that they themselves have also been motivated by something very similar. And so there's a sense of like we have this common ground with one another where we are not people that are just kind of walking in circles around those same kind of like karmic loops or karmic patterns, but we've made the decision to, or have been kind of thrust off of that, hamster wheel, and we are now kind of living an entirely different life within this same lifetime. So this person feels that they can almost like resonate with you as kind of like a kindred spirit energy. So you might have met this person through some kind of shared community, something where you've connected with that kind of understanding of like, I'm trying to improve things for myself, or this is like a tradition, this is a teaching, this is a practice, this is a modality, this is kind of like a lifestyle choice that aligns with a better version of me. And so unlike, people, maybe even romantic partners that you had in the past, or people that you were attracted to in the past that again kind of like related to that woundedness within, or kind of called into your life from that place of woundedness rather than, like the higher potential. This person has also gone through something similar of like seeing through that illusion or recognizing the truth in that. And it's kind of like steps in an opposite direction. This person might have been single for a while. They may have chosen like not to explore romance, not to date, not to get into a partnership with anyone, because it's like, I need to work on me before I can invite someone else to the party. I need to kind of improve things within myself before I have something good to give. I need to fix the broken cup of love I hold inside of myself, or learn to, kind of work with some of that brokenness that might not be able to be, kind of altered in any sort of way before I'm just blindly kind of offering that to others or allowing others to pour into me. And so it feels like on some level, this is somebody that senses like the two of you could have this opportunity to create a very different kind of partnership than may have been possible in earlier phases of your life. This is somebody that almost feels like you're the right person and this is the right time. And if you had met at like an earlier time in your life, it either would have been like a very destructive relationship because maybe you were both, harboring a lot of toxicity, a lot of unhealed wounds inside of yourselves, a sense of like you each needed to go on like a journey or a voyage of self-discovery in order to like learn to love yourselves or to heal yourselves or to fix certain things, course correct certain things. And that you've crossed paths now at this particular point in time because you are each the version of yourselves that is capable of creating, sustaining, maintaining healthy partnerships, better choices as far as like who you're sharing your life with, who you're giving your energy to, who you're inviting in close. And so this person really, recognizes this light inside of you. This is an energy of like attracts like, even if it's very different life experiences that you've had that have kind of motivated each of you to like this current version of yourselves. This is something where it's like, I can empathize with where you are coming from. I don't just need to hear those details or, hear that story and it's like, oh, I can sympathize. That must have been really tough. I'm glad you turned it around. But this is somebody that's like, yeah, I've been down that road. I have walked a very similar pathway. So when I say I get it, I understand it, like I really get it. I really understand it. This is somebody it feels like that values your time. They cherish this version of you because they know through firsthand experience how painstaking, how humbling, how like difficult of a process that is to sort of like face one's own reflection and take responsibility for the things in our lives that we have the power to change, while at the same point in time creating enough space for the acceptance of the things which are unchangeable, and to also be able to have enough kind of like foresight and insight to distinguish between those two kind of polarities. So this is somebody it feels like that spends a lot of time in introspection. This isn't just somebody that was like, yeah, I went to therapy for a couple of months and everything was better and I just carry on as usual. This is not somebody that's like, yeah, I went to this like ceremony, I went and kind of like went on this retreat and I was there for a weekend and magically all my problems problems went away and everything's all better, and I live my life going forward from there. This is somebody that is like part of their routine at this point is this kind of routine self-care. This is somebody who's constantly checking in with themselves. They hold themselves to a very high standard, and they expect that of the people that they let in close to their life. This is someone that has been holding out, it feels like, for a romance of somebody that would understand the importance of that for them. How this has been necessary is like a lifeline for them, or something that has created almost like a second chance, like a fresh start for them. And it's somebody that has also been like, hoping for someone that can kind of understand that and, can hold space for that. But there's also been this kind of like desire, dream within this person. If I could meet somebody that in a similar way and in their own way is like as committed to that process of like, I hold myself accountable and I keep holding myself accountable, healing, recovery, change, living kind of like a different sort of life. This is an ongoing process. It's not one and done. It's a constancy. It becomes a way of life in and of itself. And it's like they've crossed paths with you, and however you are embodying that, however you're living that for yourself, however you've had to cultivate that for you, this person is like so excited because they feel like you're this answered prayer. You're this kind of like sign from above, this kind of like signal from the universe. It's like you don't need to walk this kind of pathway alone in your life. And so it feels like this experience with you, wherever you're at right now in your connection with one another and what they imagine like the future can hold between the two of you, it's something where there's a part of them that is like really grateful to a previous version of themselves that made a very difficult choice to change, that made a very difficult choice to break a previous cycle, or maybe had no choice and was just sort of found themselves in the aftermath of like a tower moment and had to just kind of pick up the pieces, had to press on, had to kind of like, pull themselves up by the bootstraps in some kind of way and create a whole different lifestyle. So the fact that you're here right now at this moment in time is almost like this person is like, if I'd made any different decisions, if I had just been complacent, if I'd made like the wrong choices in the past, I wouldn't have access to you. I wouldn't have this privilege of seeing you, of recognizing you, of recognizing myself in you, of being able to stand here and offer you something and to be able to receive something in return from you that has a high value to it, like a spiritual value, because this is something that it's almost like they see that there are aspects of you that have been forged, that have been kind of like self-created or reinvented in some sort of way. And so this is somebody that sees that like a higher level of understanding, a deeper level of like empathic love is possible between the two of you. And so you fit in like with this current version of them, but you also really resonate with a future that they have been trying to like manifest or call into their reality for quite some time. And so it's like I've also successfully manifested the opportunity of a high vibrational partnership, of a very compatible experience in love in the form of you, because I've worked so diligently to call in like that higher life for myself in the here and now. Yeah, we also have drink deeply. So this person is very eager to get to know you. They want to have more experiences with you. This is somebody that does not have a closed off heart, although they may have been single for a while and kind of just working on themselves. There's a sense of like, yeah, if you want to take things to the next level, if you want to get to know one another better, if you want to build intimacy and connection, I'm all in as far as that's concerned. They couldn't have asked for a better person at a better point in time. This is not somebody that is so, loyal to that like single path, a solitary path that might have been necessary. It might have been the healthiest choice or like the best choice for them. Something that demonstrated like self-love and the sense of like, I'm investing in the future of a partnership by kind of like working on myself in the here and now. There's a sense of like all those instincts within their heart is really letting them know like, This is the person. This is the one. This is the one that you've been waiting for. This is kind of that light at the end of the tunnel, or that point on the horizon that has only been a glimmer up to this point in time, that you've hoped has existed, that you've known has existed, and is now manifest in the here and now. This person may also feel like your energy is very familiar to them. There's a sense that if this person is like very spiritual, or is like into meditation, prays often, or has some kind of connection with spirit, there may be a sense of familiarity for them with you. They may have asked for signs and confirmations. This person might have even gotten tarot readings on you if they do divination themselves. They tried to get that kind of like second opinion of like, yeah, this feels right. I think this is that kindred spirit that I have been, trying to kind of like render myself into an adequate version of me to connect with and to exchange with on that higher level. And I think that this is that person. I think this is the one that I've been waiting for, or that I've been kind of like, persevering in my own life, like working on me, but keeping my heart open, all in the interest of aligning with this individual, with you, the viewer, at this particular point in time. We also have Kiss the Muse. So yeah, this person definitely is like, they think you are perhaps their soulmate, you're that higher level love. This is something that it's like, okay, we're meeting each other where we are at this particular point in time. We've had our ups and downs personally in life and in love. We are battle worn. We've got our scars, we've got our wounds, we've got our fears, we've got our hopes. So let's put all of this together and see what kind of sense that we can make out of it. This is not somebody who is answering any sort of call of fear within them. A hesitation about like, ooh, maybe this is just a test, or maybe this will just be a repeat of toxic patterns. It's like there's a reassurance inside this person. They've learned to tap into their intuition, or listen to that intuitive side enough to where they've really taken time to sort of sit within stillness, listen to that inner voice, read beyond just kind of like a surface level attraction to you, or a sense of like, yeah, we have a lot in common, or I resonate with you on these kind of like surface level things, or more sort of shallow, mundane 3D things. This is somebody that has kind of like asked the spiritual current. They have asked the spirits. They have asked their higher self. And they've gotten a sense of reassurance that it feels like natural or inevitable to continue to open up to you, to continue to move in your direction, to continue to invite you into a deeper level of connection with them. So this is somebody that is they're very open to kind of like movement in this circumstance. This is somebody, it feels like, that they're going to show you a lot of consistency, which is also going to help to provide you with reassurances of like, okay, it might not have worked out with previous people. I might have had to sift through a lot of lessons or karmic people, or, again, kind of like if you've been working on woundedness, you've been trying to heal in any sort of way, you've been doing your shadow work, people that might have kind of surfaced in your energy, or that woundedness itself could have called in, that you resonated with, instances of limerence, or things that were a reflection of kind of a lower vibrational experience in love and partnership, that you've graduated beyond those things, you've moved beyond those things, you've broken those patterns inside of yourself, you've reinvented yourself in some way, and so you're connecting with this person who has also reinvented themselves. And so this is somebody that feels like the moment is right between the two of you, the timing's right, the stars are aligned, it couldn't be any more perfect. It feels that there are no obstacles on this person's end of the equation. There's no third parties. There's, nobody that's like, okay, I'm not ready for love and partnership. I'm not looking for this. So let me just kind of juggle it, or hang out on the sidelines. This is somebody that's like, you give me the signal and I will take action and effort. I will let you know very directly and in very obvious ways that I'm interested in you, that I like you, that I want to take things further. And, I trust that you will respond appropriately, that this dance between the two of us will happen very organically. That this moment is right, that it feels like it's meant to be. So this is somebody that feels very lucky to have connected with you, very lucky to be at this place in their life, this place within their personal awareness, or, it's kind of like an added reward or bonus from like a journey that they've been on for themselves, because now they have this opportunity to connect with someone like you and to step forward into a higher experience of partnership than they've known before. So, those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another video. Please take care and be well.